Let's say that Alice buys an NFT from Bob for 1 ETH. That transaction is then submitted to the blockchain to be validated and then mined in a block. So the way that works is that the transaction is gossiped. So gossip means it's sent, right? So the transaction is sent to all the nodes, which are run by miners right now. But after the merge, which is scheduled to happen in a couple of weeks, it will be sent to the validators. So the transaction is sent to all the nodes run by miners who validate and mine the transactions. Now, every transaction includes a gas price. So the gas price is the amount that the sender will pay in ETH as fees. So the gas price multiplied by the units of gas consumed, it equals the transaction fee paid in ETH by the transaction sender to the miner. So before transactions are included in a block, they go into this essentially in this thing called a mempool or a memory pool. So a mempool, you can think of a mempool as a list of transactions that are waiting to be confirmed and added to a block, right? So let's run through the process from the start. Alice wants to Alice buys an NFT from Bob for 1 ETH. That transaction is submitted to the blockchain, and is then sent to all nodes run by miners to be validated and then mined. Each transaction is then included in this mempool, right? So the mempool is a list of transactions that's waiting to be confirmed and added to a block. So each miner can see the gas price of each transaction, right? So it's publicly available for the miner to see. And the miners create a block that maximizes the value that they receive through transaction fees. So let's go through an example, right? So if there are 15,000 transactions waiting to be included in a block, and let's say that the maximum number of transactions a block can hold is 10,000, then the miner will run an algorithm that that essentially takes the 10,000 transactions with the highest fees. So the miner essentially takes the transactions that maximize the amount of value that they will get out of validating these transactions. So what does that lead to, right? So that essentially leads to transaction submitters wanting to get who want to get their transactions validated first and included first. They bid against each other in the form of higher fees, right? So let's say that the three of us are submitting transactions on Ethereum, and Yash wants to get his transaction submitted first. So what he'll do is that he'll bid up the price of the he'll bid up the transaction fee that he's willing to pay in order to get his transaction included before mine and Sid's, right? And then Sid looks at that and goes like, oh, I want my transaction to be included before Yash's. So he bids an even higher price. So then and then Sid's transaction is included above Yash's transaction, and then my transaction will come last, right? So this bidding for block space is public. So this is good in terms of privacy and decentralization, but it's also bad because obviously if everyone can see the gas prices, it can lead gas prices to be very volatile, and the increased load on the network just it can just overwhelm the network at times. So you can see in times of high activity, like for example when the Bored Ape Yacht Club they were selling the other side land auction. That time the gas prices went up super high, and it's because people who are bidding higher and higher transaction fees in order to get their transactions included on on the block that confirmed their purchase of the other side land before everyone else's transactions could get confirmed, right? So another problem is that failed bids still consume gas. So that means that let's say that like the three of us have submitted a bid for the same thing, and mine and Yash's bids fail, and Sid's bid goes through. My transaction will still pay a gas fee. Yash's transaction will still pay a gas fee, and that gas fee will still go to a miner, right? So that means that that someone who pays a lot of who's bid a high amount, right? Let's say the second person in that auction pays an insane amount of money, and then they get the worst of both worlds. They lose money, and they don't even get their transaction validated, and it doesn't even go through first. So roughly this is what a transaction on Ethereum consists of, right?